So you were thinking about moving to Richmond, BC and wondering what the cost of living in Richmond is like? Well, in this video, we're going to uncover the shocking prices with respect to housing that it takes to live in this beautiful city that is just one bridge away from Vancouver. Canada has just hit a new record high in rental rates, and Richmond, BC is listed as the #2 spot in all of Canada for the most expensive city to rent in. And at the same time, home prices in many areas are close to reaching the peak levels of 2022, and yet many are struggling to keep their heads above water and make their payments. Richmond has become super well known since the Olympics here in 2010, being just a 25-minute drive to downtown. It's really high on people's list as a potential place to live and consider living in. Being so close to Vancouver though, it comes with a hefty price tag, and we're going to look at exactly what those numbers look like so you know what it's going to cost to live in Richmond, BC, and we're going to jump into it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything that there is about living in Vancouver, BC and the surrounding areas like Richmond, BC here, then subscribe below and then tap that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Richmond and Vancouver and the surrounding suburbs in the area. My name is Jonathan, and our team here at the Vancouver Life Real Estate Group, we get calls, we get texts, emails every single day from people just like you that are looking to move to Vancouver, Canada and the surrounding areas, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call right below this video and you'll find the link there, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Vancouver, BC, Richmond, or any of the surrounding suburbs here. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the cost of living in Richmond, BC as of July 2023. What does it cost to live here? Well, we're going to break this video down into two different sections for you based off of your situation. The first section is for you if you're currently renting in the city of Richmond or you're considering moving to Richmond and entering the rental market here. If you're looking at the possibility of buying a home in Richmond, whether that's a detached single family house, a townhouse, a condo, then we're going to cover that in the latter portion of this video. And if you want to skip this rental section and go straight to the prices of Richmond, BC real estate and the cost of buying a home here, then just scroll down into the description below this video, and under the section called chapters, click or tap on the section titled Part 2, Richmond, BC real estate home prices. All right, let's get behind the computer and dive into the rentals.
Rentals.ca just released their national rent report for August of 2023, and it breaks down the prices from July and the average asking rental rates across Canada. And those rental rates have officially hit a new record high of $2,078 a month. Now, for some of you in some major metropolitan areas, that may not seem like very much, but that rental rate is average across all types of rentals. I do want to note that the report from Rentals.ca creates these stats from rental listings of purpose-built rental and condominium buildings, because basically tracking the data for apartments and condos on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist would be virtually impossible to do. So these are coming from purpose-built rental buildings. So what is the rate of acceleration of this increase in the rental rates? Well, essentially, this increase, again, is across the country, and that rate of growth came in at 8.8% over June alone, representing basically the fastest month-over-month increase that we've seen in 8 months. And this is a continuation as what we saw in June, because we essentially had the same headline that rates increased at a rate of 1.4% over the prior month, which was the fastest month-over-month increase that we had seen at that time. And here in BC, we recorded the fastest month-over-month increase in rents all across the country, leading in at 2.8%. And over the past 2 years, the average asking rents in Canada have increased by 21%. Adding to this increase, and another reason that rents experienced further upward pressure last month, and is because that this is the time that post-secondary students rush into the rental market to try and sign their leases ahead of time so they are ready and know that they have a spot to live for the fall term. Add on to that the fact that the population grew by a record level and that many would-be homebuyers have moved to the sidelines as the Bank of Canada has raised the interest rates to a 22-year high, pushing the greater demand on rentals and many people not wanting to go into the market to buy a home. Take a look at this graph. It shows the change in average listed rent by bedroom type, comparing studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 beds, and 3 bedroom options. And The biggest change by far, as you can see, is in the 1-bedroom category. So 1-bedroom units that year over year saw a growth of 13% in rental rates and 2.5% increase over July alone. And as you can see, the 2 bedrooms are not far behind them, as you can see. Alberta is leading the pack across the country for annual rent growth, with average asking rents up 16% year over year. BC, however, still remains the most expensive province for rents, with an average monthly asking rent of $2,622. Keep in mind, this is all rental types from studios to 3 bedrooms and the average across the board. Let's dive into the area of Richmond in terms of rental rates. Now, the Rentals.ca report, it didn't report specifically on what the exact rental rate numbers are for each type of condo, studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, etc. in the city of Richmond. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some context here of what does it look like in the city of Vancouver and what's the total average for that. And then we're gonna compare the average to the city of Richmond just to give you an idea of where the numbers might land for the different types of 1-bedrooms and 2 bedrooms within the city of Richmond compared to Vancouver. So looking at Vancouver, the average rental rates for each type of condo in Vancouver, 1-bedroom, you're looking at just over $3,000 a month. 2-bed, you're just under $4,000 a month, and a 3-bedroom, you're looking at just over $4,600 a month. So the average across all types of condo units would be $3,874 a month in the city of Vancouver. Now in Richmond, by comparison, you're looking at $3,119 per month as the average asking rent across all property types. So for a little bit more context as well, the top 5 mid-sized markets across the country in Canada, 4 of the top 5 that have the highest average asking rents were all in BC, number 1, 2, 4, and 5. So just to take a look at this is North Vancouver was in at just over $3,500 a month, whereas the city of Vancouver again is over $3,800 a month. Richmond came in at $3,100, Burnaby at $3,000, and Coquitlam at just over $2,800 a month. So comparing the averages, you will save some money by renting within Richmond or really any other suburb of Vancouver compared to renting within the city of Vancouver. Now, I'm going to finish off this rental section with a quick overview and historic high rental times that have been a predictor of future recessions. Then that's going to tie into the home buying side of things in the next section of this video. So excessive rental rates have been an indicator of future recessions in the past. Not all of them, but 4 out of the last 5 recessions have been fairly well predicted using something called the home price to rent ratio. When people cannot buy, like in a high interest rate environment we might be in today, or when they've lost their job or that they might lose their job, they rent, and then competition for the rental market goes up as it's the only affordable element left, and rental prices remain higher as a result. Home buying demand decreases, sales volume decreases, home prices decrease, and overall there's less spending in the economy. And typically this is a trend that occurs prior to recessions. Now we actually saw parts of this in a mild way last year as interest rates were going up, but the recession aspect didn't quite happen and the home price dips were very mild and they bottomed out in January. And right now though, those rental prices have hit record levels. Now builders and developers during that time pull back on building and bringing homes to market, which we have seen in a big way over the past year. And that further propels the recovery when things turn around through this time, because then people that are coming into the country and then the folks who held off on buying all decide to come back at the same time. So then there's bigger demand, but there's less inventory to be able to choose from. And then things launch into a frenzy again, creating lots of competition and multiple offers happening across the board. This all brings you to the cost of buying a home in Richmond or buying a condo in Richmond, BC. Before we dive into some numbers, I have to clarify that currently across every metropolitan area of Canada, there is a foreign buyer ban in effect until the end of 2024. You cannot buy a residential property unless you're a citizen, you have PR status, or you have a work permit that has an expiry with more than 183 days remaining by the time you complete on the property. Now, there are different exemptions based on your status and the area that you're intrigued to buy in. And when it comes to location, it's all about the density and the population in that area. So depending on where you're going, if you're intrigued, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email, and let's find out if the ban applies to you. All right, let's dive into the numbers for what has sold in the city of Richmond in the past 30 days. Now, these numbers, I'm gonna compare them to the entire greater Vancouver area. So you're gonna see the average price of homes across all of Greater Vancouver, and then where does Richmond land within that in comparison. So let's take a look at detached single family homes first. So in the Greater Vancouver area, detached single family homes came in at just an average price of under $2.2 million and a median price of $1.85 million. Whereas in Richmond, as of doing this video, there's only 38 active listings for detached homes, and they came in much over the average at $2.735 million and a median price of $1.9 million. Now that is less than the city of Vancouver. The average price in the city of Vancouver is about $2.9 million, so we're about $200,000 under the average price in Vancouver as of July. Now, one other thing to note as well, one thing I really like to do is comparing the average as well as the median price, because you may have a luxury home that ends up selling and really bumping up the average for that last month. Whereas I like looking at the median price because it will take all the numbers and of all, say 50 sales, whatever it was, and then take that number 25. And then that's gonna give you a little bit better perspective in terms of what is really happening across the board in the market and what is your true average, what you'd be looking at for that type of property. Let's look into townhomes. Greater Vancouver average saw townhomes in at $1.14 million, with the median price being at just under $1.1 million. In Richmond, there's only 30 active listings right now, and that average price came in at just over $1 million, and the median being very close to that, being very close to $1.1 million. And in condos, the Greater Vancouver average, just under $800,000 for the average, and the median price in at $720,000. In Richmond, there were 107 condo units available currently as of July, so a much better number to use the pricing off of. Average price at $720,000, and the median price down at $657,000 for the median price. And a little bit more context as well, just in terms of averages, if you look in Vancouver, the cost of what you would look at for a property per bed in general for a one-bedroom place across Greater Vancouver, by the way, you're looking at $570,000 for a one-bedroom unit. Two-bedroom average, you're looking at $745,000, and a three-bedroom average, you're looking at $1.24 million is the average price you would pay for that size. Now that you have a good idea of what you're looking at in terms of costs of buying the different types of homes, what I want to do is just give you a quick idea of what it's going to cost on a monthly payment wise for your mortgage to be able to service that debt of the mortgage that you're getting, the loan that you're getting from the bank. And what I'm going to do, because I know some of this is not going to be applicable for many of you, I'm going to bring up a slide for each of the different price ranges in terms of, say, $600,000 mortgage, $1 million mortgage, $1.5 million mortgage, so you get an idea of what the monthly payments will be based off of today's rates. Now, this week's rates, it's August 15th as I am recording this right now, August 15th, 2023. So just put that into context as rates may change by the time that you watch this video. So I'm gonna break it up because right now, most people are really kind of falling in line with the 2-year or a 3-year fixed payment as opposed to going with a 5-year fixed term because of how high the rates are right now. So you're going to see a few different options in terms of what those monthly payments look like based off of the length of term and the interest rate that we have right now today. Let's dive into that. So the first price range we have here is $480,000 up to $600,000. Again, here's your monthly payments based off of a 2-year fixed, 3-year fixed, or a 5-year variable rate right now. As you can tell on all these slides, the variable rate is higher than all the fixed right now, but bond yields have just gone up. So there's probably going to be an increase in the fixed rates by the time that you see this video shortly. Next up, we have the price range of $640,000 to $800,000. Again, a significantly bigger change here, and you're just going to see that on each of these slides. Next up, we have $800,000 to $1 million, 2-year, 3-year fixed, and 5-year variable. Next 2 slides, we have $1.2 million to $1.5 million in terms of mortgage amounts. And lastly, we have $1.6 million to $2 million. Hopefully those numbers were valuable to you so you get an idea of what the monthly cost of servicing that debt, that mortgage that you'd be getting on a home at those different price ranges.
There you have it, everyone. The cost of living in Vancouver housing, whether you are looking at rental rates in Vancouver or buying a home in Vancouver. This is what you need to know for the numbers as of July 2023. As always, if you're thinking about moving to Vancouver, living in Vancouver, or relocating to Vancouver in the next 9 days or 90 days, then give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call right down below this video, and we'd love to be able to find out more about you and help you make a smooth move to Vancouver.